Yo! What is up, guys? Nick the Cut here, Let's Drift Media. Thank you guys for coming back to the channel. Today's episode, I'm going to do a quick little video on how to install rear upper control arms, also known as RUCAs, some people may call them, on my 1996 Nissan 240SX or S14, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to do a quick little tutorial for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Real quick though, if you guys aren't aware, my last video, the Let's Drift Media montage, anyone who drops a comment, I'm going to be doing a raffle out of everyone who comments on that video and giving away a $100 Visa gift card to one lucky winner. So by the time, I think this coming Friday, I'm going to end the raffle. So anyone who's left a comment up to there, I'll enter you in there and I'll go live on YouTube and Instagram so you guys can see who the winner is. So thank you guys. So, I'm not sure if you guys can tell on camera, but rear camber is pretty bad. Originally when I installed these over fenders, it was like almost hella flush. You can see it's not so much like that anymore. Maybe the other side's a little bit worse. Not flush. So first things first, we gotta lift up the back end and take off the rear wheels. So very simple enough at first. See if you guys can see in here. We have the rear upper control arm right here. It's kind of bends around the strut. See right there. I don't know if you guys could tell, but mine are severely bent. That's from doing like a lot of dirt drop-in at the track. So pretty sure it's a common 240 issue as far as S14 control arms. So once I pop it off, I'll be able to show you guys a little bit better picture. But it actually has been a while, but I'm not too sure if I'm gonna have to disconnect any arms. But if I recall correctly, you can literally just unbolt the bolts right here on the rear knuckle, as well as the one inside there that connects to the other end of the control arm. And we should be able to just pop it off and pretty much replace it like that. So let's see. Alright, so I kind of am running into a little bit of a problem. You can see this side's out, no problem. I forgot, since I have these solid subframe bushings, it actually rises the subframe closer to the body. So I'm hoping I can maneuver this thing out. I think I can, because if I move the arm, it gives me a little bit of play. So hopefully I can get this bolt out. Normally though, the subframe would be sitting a little bit lower, so you wouldn't have to worry about this bolt hitting up there. So that's actually kind of unfortunate. I really didn't think about this, but should be able to get it out right now. Alright, took a bolt to the face, but just with the pry bar, I was able to get it out just enough. But that's actually very interesting. So now, with the front bolt out and the back bolt out, you should be able to just pull it out. There we go. And boom, just like that, the rear driver's side lower control arm is out. You guys can see mine are super messed up. Like, look at that bend. By the way, these are ISR control arms, but honestly, I don't think it matters which brand you go for, because when it comes to S14s, they're all going to be this size or this style. I do know on the S13s, it's like an actual circle control arm. So it does suck because it has to go around the shock, but I think that's a better structural idea, because this stuff, like, man, that is really like not any support. I mean, if you're not drifting your car, you're just like hard parking it, you're fine with these, but I mean, these were pretty expensive control arms, and I'm actually surprised they bend, but I do hear that they all bend. So that is why with the new ones, huge shout out to Stan. Anything else you got to say to him?
And Andy didn't reply to me. I'm trying to sign up.
The 240 stand, he actually welded a little bracket in between it to prevent the bending. So he's actually running the same setup on his drift car right now, and he's gone to a couple events and had no problems. So hopefully I'll be the same, but god damn, dude, guys, look at this. That is no bueno. So I'm gonna have to do an alignment anyways regardless, but what I'm gonna try and do is kind of measure out how far this one is and put this one back to as close as possible to this, so that way the alignment's probably within spec. At least it'll be a little bit more drivable until I could take it to the shop and actually do the alignment. So go ahead and set these little tie rod end links, or whatever the hell you want to call them, the adjustable end links. Try to set it as close as I can and then slap it in. Real quick, one thing when you are adjusting these, you can see this sleeve goes into the control arm. You want to make sure you have like a decent amount of threads in there. You don't want to just have like 1 or 2 threads in, because that's probably going to pop out. So keep in mind that this part also spins out. So I say best rule of thumb when going in is kind of just have it centered, and you can make your adjustments once they're on the alignment rack, but just keep that in mind. You don't want to have like just a thread in there, because that's not going to be safe. So I got them pretty close. I mean, I'm just basing this because when I had this arm, when it wasn't bent at least, camber was just how I liked it, which is like almost 0 degrees, maybe just slightly negative. So got them pretty close, kind of just eyeball it for now until I go to the shop like I said. So now I'm pretty much just gonna try and slap it back on. Sometimes you're gonna have to use the jack to kind of lift the knuckle, unless you just want to manhandle it, but I've noticed before it doesn't want to go in exactly as easy as it came out, so we'll see what happens. So just want to show you guys something really quick. These are actually the eccentric cam bolts. So normally, like on a stock 240 suspension, this thing would not be adjustable. So it has these eccentric cams over here. Since we're going with these adjustable arms, it really doesn't matter. So what I ended up doing is just putting it in backwards, since I was not able to get it back in the original way. So you can see over there, it'll still be fine. I mean, this bolt's gonna be all the way in there flat. But yeah, if you were to be doing OEM suspension, that bolt is a little bit more crucial, I believe, on which way it goes in, since that's gonna be your rear camber adjustment on factory suspension. But I mean, I was not about to lower this subframe to try and get that bolt back in there. So I just went in reverse, but we should be fine. I'm just gonna bolt the nut back on, and then hopefully I don't have too much trouble getting this control arm on. Looks like it might give me some trouble though. Probably gonna have to pull this knuckle away. Worst comes to worst, I'll just have to loosen this arm in order to get this upper control arm back on the knuckle. Myself up pretty good trying to wedge this control arm. Halfway through, what I realized, it was a bad idea to set it to the spec that I had it previously, because the last time I did an alignment, it was already starting to bend a little bit. So what I did last time was extended it even more to compensate for the bend. So setting it to what this length was really not going to work to get this control arm in. But I just adjusted it, pulled the little adjustable rod in a little bit more, and then you guys saw me prying on this to kind of get it to where I want to. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna align it, so it really doesn't matter too much. Honestly, it's just getting it on there is what I need to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys can see too, if you do order an aftermarket adjustable kit, usually it'll come with this arm right here, this adjustable arm as well, and as well as the rear adjustable toe arm. So I do have all three, but None of them really have given me a problem. It's really this one, because that's the one that takes all the impact if you're going to go off the track, and the suspension really just binds up and really takes a hit. So I feel like this is just the main worry. Looks pretty promising with this reinforcement plate. Really excited to try it out and get back out there drifting, because one reason I haven't gone drifting was because my camber was so screwed up. My whole alignment was just messed up, and it was just eating through tires at a ridiculous rate on the inside of the tread, not even letting me drift fully to maximize my tire life. One thing to remember too before you go driving on the street is don't forget to tighten the adjuster lock, the locking nuts. You don't want to be driving on the street, have them be all loose. Make sure this bolt right here is tight, as well as the eccentric cam on the other side of the arm. But that's pretty much it to it. I mean, it's really just 2 bolts per arm. If you're going to do the other ones, it's pretty much the exact same process. Yeah. All right, real quick, just wanted to show you guys the new arms on there. And see, this one actually has a lot of positive camber. So I'm gonna have to correct that. But this one, I kind of got it on the money, surprisingly. That's kind of like how it used to look before. So pretty proud. I mean, gotta still take it to get the alignment anyways, but all in all, pretty excited. I really my arm up, but that's pretty much it, the process to replace rear upper control arms or any control arms on the rear of a 240SX. I'm not going to show you guys the other side. It's a little bit more cramped over there. I should have moved the car, but it's the exact same process, so you guys get the point. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, drop a comment, like, and don't forget to subscribe. But that's all I got for you guys this week. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up.